And the Greek chorus. This play needs one. The human hourglass is fast losing sand. In ancient plays, the chorus commented on the play's action while dancing and singing, and inner music always guides me. But lately, a crazy zaniness has taken over. Yada-da-da-da-da. Must be my response to our human civilization's teetering into oblivion. We must muster up new dance steps, never having been quite so on edge before. Here comes our protagonist, the actress, after an important audition.
I didn't get the role.
She didn't get the role.
Damn it, I didn't get it.
She didn't get it.
Guess who got it?
Man
got it.
I got it.
Our other protagonist.
In this day and age, producers are dinosaurs. Can't see their own bony nose plates. Actually, the part was written for a man, that's true. But that's only because the playwright is a person of meager imagination. I could have played the dickens out of that role. There's no reason a woman can't play it. In fact, a woman should, this day and age.
But you are aware, aren't you, that times have changed, and most men don't treat women as lesser beings.
Well, maybe, but it's been deeply ingrained for centuries. So allow me to spout a bit to make up for olden times. Oh, see, I can play the maid if I want. 2 tiny lousy scenes. Oh, actually, one scene is darn good. But I'm so often stuck in secondary parts. Help, it's quicksand. I deserve the lead once in a while. 51% of the time.
She has accepted the maid's part.
Damn right. I can't afford to turn down paying work. I'm in the arts. And don't get me wrong. I don't mean I need the lead in any splashy, spotlit way. I mean I want to be the character driving the action instead of the one cooing and eyeing behind the penis one. I want to be the responsible one. The driver instead of the passenger, the center instead of the side, the problem solver, the connector, the president! But that's only fair, isn't it?
Eminently, this day and age. Women perhaps haven't taken enough responsibility on their own shoulders.
I contain multitudes far too splendid to shove into shallow envelopes. But you know, I do often wonder, much of the fault must be ours. Oh!
A very good observation. We'll take it to heart.
So there I was in the green room, waiting to audition along with the other actors.
Hey, I'm here you're playing the maid. You'll be great.
What are you playing?
The lead.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. They didn't even let me read for the lead.
Why haven't women led as often as men? That's worth going into the past and exploring.
Now wait a minute. Don't impose your crusty old guilt on me. Nowadays, most men don't muscle their way to the front.
They don't?
Well, it was entrenched in us for centuries, but we're now aware of it and overcoming it.
Finally.
And don't forget, we're only playing theatrical parts here tonight to spotlight past behavior so that the audience can experience it while safe in their seats.
We know we're all doing so much better now.
Despite our progress, we're not out of the woods just yet. Just to witness the state of our world. So, why haven't women led as often as men? For the answer, let's look to the ancients, the founders of our great Western civilization. How do they teach us to live? What wisdom do they impart? These great men, always men, that all of us study and revere.
Who, for instance?
Homer, for instance.
Homer of the wine dark sea.
Yeah, that one.
3,000 years ago, Homer, the Odyssey, the start of Western literature. Oh, great bard Homer, rosy-fingered dawn.
He of the rosy fingers.
Yeah, that Homer.
What does that genius? And he really was often a genius. Have to say. What edict of misogyny erupted from him that we still live by centuries on?
Well, the book up. Okay. Excuse me. So, what? I just got this way. The first book of Homer's The Odyssey. Here are the book's opening lines according to Mage Page's 2018 translation.
Lively muse, golden child of Zeus, bring forward for a new generation our precious tales of long ago.
And Finn and Winnie's 1996 version.
Burst yourself forth, starry muse, Zeus' daughter, choose your beginning, but sing loud, for we listen today as well.
And Wilson Wilson in 1965.
Point to your beginning, muse, Zeus sprung. Give voice to our tale.
See? How did we get stuck with this fancy poetry with spicy divinities baked into the cake? And these are tip-top translators. So, Odysseus has been off fighting the Trojan War for 10 long years and then spent a further tortured 10 making his goddess-stalled way back home to... You're welcome.
Penelope, his long-waiting wife. I've endured a lineup of suitors, a lineup of pushy suitors wanting to take my husband's place in all things. And I put up with them because as a woman in 1250 BC, even as a king's wife, I have little power. I also have to house and feed these suitors out of my husband's wealth, as Greeks were always welcoming to male strangers. This has gone on for 2 decades, 20 endless years.
She and Odysseus have a son.
Telemachus, still wet behind the ears, just out of his teens.
So I'm the one who raised him, for his father has been gone nearly his whole life.
Yes, the suitors drink and carouse while a silver-fingered bard plays music telling of Odysseus's long bedeviled journey home from Troy.
Show me the way to go home.
Penelope calls down from her rooms upstairs.
That music drips melancholy, Telemachus. I know you're a boy, barely chopped from teenagerdom, and you like to listen to your indie pop, or whatever 'tis called. But please, dear, I, distraught and undone by lengthy years of missing my husband gallant, am lacking cheer. Think on my spirits and request a livelier pace.
Mother, who dost thou think thou art? Who gave thee, lesser-brained semi-human, the right to an opinion? This is, thou well knowest, a world made by and for men. Wow, nasty lines. This is, thou well knowest, a world made by and for men. Women are vessels merely, vessels for getting more of men into the world. Necessary vessels, yes, but nothing more. Go back to your quarters and do what you're meant to do, what the gods ordain you do, which is take up your loom and your distaff and weave me a cool new cloak. Speech is the business of men. All men, only men. And me most of all, for mine is the power in his household, whilst my father sojourns abroad.
Speech is the business of men, all men, only men, and Telemachus most of all.
Hey, I'm just an actor saying lines here. Men aren't the only bad eggs.
We know that, don't worry.
We didn't write those lines. A man wrote them, a respected dead white man.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Well, that's what society looked like back then.
Speech is the business of men, all men, only men, and me most of all, for mine is the power in this household, whilst my father sojourns abroad.
Oh, okay, my son.
That's what she says? I mean, that's what she really says?
That scene is Homer's.
Look, you mix all the translations together and they come out sounding pretty much like that. It's a close approximation to what Homer said, although perhaps a bit heavy on the nasty age crusty subtext. Oh, and another thing. As in Shakespeare, so many centuries later, all characters in Greek entertainment were enacted by men. They took all the parts and all the money both.
Oh. Okay, Sonny dear.
But the Odyssey isn't a play, it's a long narrative poem.
So I'm taking a little theatrical license here. What do you want from me? I'm the chorus, not the playwright. So, all traveling poets were men.
Women weren't allowed on the stage?
That's right, only men and boys.
Women weren't allowed on the stage?
No, only men and boys.
Women weren't allowed on the stage!
So while men were playing Cleopatra well enough.
I have immortal longings in me.
And Rosalind.
Sir, you have wrestled well.
And Medea.
You want to see your son?
And Aphrodite.
Love is all.
And Lady Bracknell.
In a handbag?
Cleopatra could have been played this way, slightly different and perhaps slightly better.
I have immortal longings in me.
And Rosalind.
Sir, you have wrestled well.
And Medea.
You want to see your sons?
And Aphrodite.
Love is all.
And Bracknell.
In a handbag?
Yes, in a handbag.
In a handbag.
Well, maybe we'll share Bracknell.
The gods, that would have become gutsier about securing employment.
You can say that again.
But go back. That's what it really says in Homer? Penelope meekly obeys?
I'll tell you what it really says in several translations. Penelope.
Guarded, according to Page. Judicious and prudent, says Winnie. And gloriously divine, translates Wilson. Penelope says to the bard playing the music,
You crack my heart. Your songs pulse sorrows. My soul and body are hollowed with craving my man whose fame sends him to the world and keeps him from me.
I, Telemachus, respond. Wilson says I'm brooding.
Page says he's
Acute and confident.
Winnie says
Menacing.
So they all had quite different ideas about what the Greek words meant. They all thought it referred to the boy's mental acuity and state. Wilson has Telemachus to go on to say, and this will be hard to believe, but this is really what he says.
You have work to do, woman. You've got a loom. You've got a distaff. And those slaves of yours moving as well. Speaking is reserved for only men, and especially for me, for I am Lord here.
He is Lord here, he is Lord here, he is Lord here, tra-la-la.
Sorry, ladies. I myself would never talk like that. I wouldn't dare.
Theater is a safe place. Ideas expressed here broaden instead of squelch. Hey, get your red-hot catharsis right here and let's keep things moving. So, Winnie translates this same scene this way.
Get up to your rooms, mother. Mind your own business, which you know well is weaving. And make sure those serving women of yours do their work as well. When commands must be given, leave that to the men, but mainly to me. The clout in this household is mine.
He is the clout, he is the clout, he is the clout, tra-la-la.
And here's Page's take on the situation.
It's men who must discuss and arrange. Men and only men, meaning me. For I am supreme here.
For he is supreme? Sheesh, grown women buckle under to snotty boys. Okay, how does Penelope react?
Oh, this is interesting. To Page's acute and confident Telemachus, the guarded Penelope...
I stunned, leapt upstairs to my servants, for my son's considered words struck my soul, and I cried out for my husband missing. Ah!
And how does our judicious and prudent heroine react to Winnie's menacing Telemachus?
I scurried upstairs to my quarters. I deeply believed in the correctness of my son's words.
And here's Wilson's glorious Penelope reacting to her brooding son.
I fled to my rooms and pondered the deeply harsh reprimands of my son.
The harsh reprimands of her son?
Oh, part of being a man was learning to silence women's public speech, right? She was helping her son become a man.
Says who?
Says Homer.
Yeah,
says Homer. Homer says, yes, Homer says, yes, Homer says who says Homer?
Get thee upstairs, I'm the ruler here. That little pipsqueak has the gall to say that to the mother who bore and loved him, and she just accepts that meekly? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this scene sorely needs rewriting.
You'll obey me. I am your mother.
What did you say?
You heard me.
We all heard you. That blasted hag thinks she can tell me what to do. I'll show her. I'll lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up!
Well, anger didn't work. They very well did it. Those ancient Greek characters psychologically couldn't handle women's equality. The humans weren't evolved enough at that time. In Greece, women had very few rights. No independence, were imprisoned at home, hidden away, and maybe they weren't even allowed in the theater audience.
But unless, of course, they were slave women. Those half-humans were allowed out in public, for who else would fetch and carry? And through much of classical Athens history, anyone with a womb would...
Anyone with a womb, really? That specific?
Yeah. Excuse me. Anyone with a womb has no independent status and can't go to the theater or any public assembly. They are vessels merely.
Yet ball sacks come with the power of speech.
Penelope's rage, however appropriate, isn't the best response. We know by now anger is a stupid road to take. Rooting through ancient wrongs. Why cart around old garbage?
Yeah, toss it into the compost pile and turn it into art.
That's a play we can all star in. Let's try the scene another way. I am the adult here. The days of shutting myself in my room and weaving are over. I'll determine the music in my own home. I'll decide who plays it and who listens to it. And you will stop speaking to your mother so disgracefully.
The law says you better weave.
And who writes the laws?
Men do. Women as lawyers? Are you crazy?
Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up!
Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! You can see it's unfair. Men write the laws. Women aren't allowed to make them, so I'll no longer respect laws that women haven't shared in writing.
Who said life was fair?
Kill the woman!
Hey, knock it off. Words have consequences.
That's not working well either, is it? The strong woman makes men hide behind unfair laws.
Let's keep it light. Fun fact, the following really happened to Mary Beard, a noted academic, and it happened in the 21st century.
Mrs. Beard came up with a beautiful idea which she dared suggest on the internet.
She said, let's put a woman's face on our money.
Of course. We should have done that ages ago. What took us so long?
An idea whose time has come.
And we could even have a woman president.
A sound idea. But guess what?
Enter the trolls.
Rape her, kill her, lock her up.
Because she suggested women's face on money, that really happened.
That really happened. I'm not a playwright making things up. That really happened.
Astonishing.
Let's try this Penelope scene another way.
Wait a minute. Let's stop for a second. This play might be sounding a little bit anti-male. That's not our intention.
Thank you. Certainly not. We're better than that.
When Homer goes low,
We go high.
And here's my chance, so I'm going to grab it. I think most women have been wanting to say this. None of the men of my acquaintance rape or hit or abuse women, not one.
That's right.
That's right.
Not one. I know such men are out there. I know how prevalent and monstrous it is, but most men wouldn't even consider it. Most men are pretty damn fabulous. Hooray for most men. We love you.
We love you, but not those others.
And what about flirting? So joyous, so natural. And now it's become a big problem. Hello, flirting is allowed, encouraged even. Come on, everyone enjoys the tickle of a fun, fine flirt.
The tickle of a fun, fine flirt.
Hey there. Don't you look great?
Thank you. You're not so bad yourself.
Oh, would you like to get a cup of coffee to get to know one another?
Thanks. I'm flattered, but I'm on my way to work.
So you're saying no?
I'm saying no. For now.
Another time then.
Maybe. So long, handsome. Turn him down if that's your response, but with grace and kindness. And what you must never do, my fine feathered male friend, is pressure your lady. For then you've lost your savoir-faire, sir, and thus you've lost your lady.
Hey, baby, you know you want it. You can't leave me like this. Cock tease, bitch. You led me on. You shouldn't dress that way. You shouldn't smile like that. Give it to me or else.
None of that.
Yeah, no more of that. But let's keep moving. Alarms are sounding. Penelope, let's try your scene again.
Attend, sweet son of heart of mine, my darling boy, spawn of my soul. Respect for women would stand you in good stead in this life. And ye suitors, ye now must list to me and obey. Respect the high reputation of my husband, as you must learn to respect mine own parlous state. Out, damned suitors, out, I say! And male child of my loins, cease commanding me to weave. I'll stay right here and oversee the tutor I have for you, Telemachus, to teach you some manners.
Stupid old woman.
Oh, dear.
I have a penis. And that means I am born unable to hear your sort speak, or to think you deserve equal pay or be equal with me in any way. Besides, the gods have decreed that women be submissive.
The gods proclaim it!
The gods must be obeyed.
The independent female adult brings on the wrath of God spun from the myths of men, myths that men have made.
Funny how those male gods always end up on the men's side.
Quake and bow low. Enter Dionysus, god of theater.
We tell of the god Dionysus, how he was born of Semele, a beautiful Theban princess, and fathered by Zeus.
When you're famous, they let you do it. I am Zeus, king of the gods. I am entitled to rape the beautiful Semele, and so I promptly do it.
Pregnant,
Of course.
she was tricked by Zeus's perpetually jealous wife Hera.
I know a secret way to find out if he really loves you.
You do?
Ask Zeus to present himself in all his glory to your naked eyes.
Oh, okay. Please let me see you in all of your glory.
He, the thunder god, all vainglory as he is, allows this, and up goes Semele in a slash of lightning. But wily Zeus, though mourning a moment his sizzled sweetheart, seizes the fetus from the smoking lady's womb and nurtures it in his mighty thigh. And thus Dionysus was called the twice-born.
The twice-born. As I was nurtured by a god, therefore I am also a god. Never mind that my mother was a mere human vessel and thus only partially involved in my birth anyway. And she was raped, but what are women for? Dionysus am I.
My son, Dionysus, god of wine and drunken revelry, madness, violence, pain, suffering, death, rebirth.
And also God of theater? How can that be?
Well, he's also the god of transformation.
Ah, transformation, catharsis, theater, I get it.
Behold the Deus ex machina.
Dionysus, god of wine and roses.
Humans, you are puny and corruptible, unable to solve this situation, impenetrable, still childish in capabilities developmental. But to you I promise, solved it will get. As soulmates and equals will men see women yet.
Hooray!
Da, 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 da.
However, one slight catch is there.
What's that?
It will only take another 2,000 years!
2,000 years!
Yeah, and even then we'll have a lot of hard work to do. The subjugation of women is deeply ingrained.
But how did it get so deeply ingrained?
Oh, it's obvious men did it.
No, come on now. It takes two to tango.
Homer got his ideas about treating women so appallingly from somewhere.
Well, let us explore together the ancient dramas of our animal past.
Isn't it clear it started with our ape nature and male strength? It's obvious from our behavior we came out of the animal tradition of the strongest overcoming the less strong. Females were beaten down.
And still are. Women being second and obliged to give in came to seem so natural that we haven't drawn attention to it.
Haven't drawn attention to it.
Haven't even seen it.
Haven't even seen it.
It's become the norm.
It's
Become the norm! Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe it should be the norm.
Yeah, now that we have seen it, we can't unsee it. We have to fix it.
Wait, let's take the bonobos for example, but let's hurry, we're running out of time.
Well, going back to our roots, aren't we really apes?
Well, it's complicated, but here. So, Homo sapiens sapiens, that's us. Close cousins of two branches of the monkey clan share 99% of our genes with both the bonobos and the chimpanzees, which initiates an intriguing puzzle. Which branch, if either, did we evolve with?
Introducing the bonobos.
The bonobos, panpaniscus, don't do the things the way most primates do. They are matriarchal, gentle, intelligent, cooperative. Unrelated females band together as they are the ones who leave their home tribes as adults and join other bands. As they form tight bonds with other females, they easily overcome male aggression. Mothers and sons bond strongly as well, and this also serves to diminish male aggression. Interestingly enough, the brilliant way they've come up with to settle disputes is sex. Yeah. When, for example, bonobos come upon a large patch of fruit, yes, if tensions should rise over feeding priority, the bonobos will decompress with a quick round of... genital to genital rubbing, tongue kissing, oral sex, face-to-face intercourse, and they've even been known to make sex toys. They're sexually open to everything. Males with females.
Wait a minute. Did you say bonobos make sex toys?
You think we're the only monkeys to figure that one out? So, rubber balls if they can get them, plant material or rocks if they can't. And, as I was saying, they are sexually open to anything and everything. Males with females, males with males, females with females, juveniles with adults. It's a loving free-for-all. And the end result of all this scrumptious screwing is...
We rarely fight, we share the fruit, we all live happily ever after.
Could humans have skipped down this same magical path? Sadly, the bonobos are a seriously endangered species.
I often have the feeling that we are too.
Yes, our clock is ticking. And now, let's take a look at the chimpanzees. Pan-troglodytes. Chimps are male dominant, pay little attention to females, though males mate with every one of them, practice infanticide, are violent, but form firm family bonds, and are intelligent, strong, and good in circuses. They're also an endangered species.
And we humans, what branch do we most resemble?
How to portray human beings. Homo sapiens sapiens, complicated creatures perched on the knife edge between heaven and hell. Which branch do we most resemble? Let's say it's the year 8000 BC. Things moved slowly back then, and nothing much would change for over 5,000 years. Take a look at human life back in history.
Oh, great mother! Great mother from whose womb all humankind arise.
We thank you for the bustling trade routes we have established with neighbors near and far.
We particularly relish the sweet figs that have come from our friends to the south.
And we ask for your blessing on our theater play which we perform tonight on the theme of universal love, and we give thanks for the invention of theater.
The scenery is spectacular with colors never before seen, and the story, well, the story is a rackety comedy about a serious and timely situation.
We are so grateful that we can spend our days and nights in peaceful communion with each other, with our neighbors, and with the stars in your glorious night sky.
We thank you for our wonderful and unchanging lives.
But humans are clever. Too clever. Don't bet on the bonobos just yet. Things slowly changed around the 5th millennium BC, solidifying around 1200 BC, which we now call the Iron Age.
Look what I have just discovered.
A rock?
Well, yeah, but it's got iron in it.
And I have discovered iron smelting.
And when iron can be smelted,
vicious weapons can be made.
And Homo sapiens loves vicious weapons.
With weapons came warriors. With warriors came patriarchal war gods who put their feet on women's necks and kept it there, even unto today.
Some men going against nature had their male gods decree that they had made everything all by themselves, and in making everything had made women later and lesser.
Lesser and later, later and later.
Women are lesser and later.
That clearly is utterly mistaken. It takes two to tango.
As early as 1754 BC, male rule was entrenched.
The Code of Hammurabi.
Behold the code of law from Mesopotamia around 1754 BC, which, incidentally, was engraved on a large stone phallus. So this tells us what was important to them. The code asserts that social order and justice are dictated by the gods, and everyone's worth is set in stone. Here are some examples.
A female commoner's life is worth
30 shekels.
30 shekels for a female commoner's life.
A slave woman is worth 20.
20 shekels for a slave woman. Not quite as much as for a free woman.
And for one eye of one male commoner.
Yeah, wait for it. One eye of one male commoner is worth
60 shekels.
60 shekels for only one eye, while a whole female is worth only half that.
So say the gods.
The gods say it.
But Hammurabi and Homer weren't the only sages denigrating women. Let's check out Ovid, the great poet born in 43 BC, author of the world-famous Metamorphosis. Sex and love seen through a rather peculiar lens. What did he, the most famous poet of his time, world-renowned even in this day, say about women?
Moo, moo.
What?
Well, that's not quite true. That's what Ovid had the women say. Step right up, ladies and gents, and listen to our very serious tale. Now, Jupiter... Oh, wait, there's a switch here. Okay. Homer was Greek and Ovid was Roman. So Zeus ruled for Homer, whereas in Ovid's Latin, he's turned into Jupiter.
So Jupiter, arrogant sky god, used to having his royal way and therefore completely untamable, is walking through the forest one day when he catches sight of the nymph.
I am.
Hey, baby. I'll bet a good-looking nymph such as yourself is just dying to let me get your panties off. I'm Jupiter, you know. God above all gods.
Bug off, asshole.
And off she runs, somehow not aroused by pure male arrogance. Calling after her, he promises her his scepter of heaven.
But babe, I got this scepter of heaven, and I promise you I know just how to wield it.
What do you take me for?
A vessel.
Yeah, nobody puts off all powerful Jupiter that easily.
If you don't give in the usual way, I'll just have to cause the sun to go to bed early so that I can get into yours.
Yeah, and the sky god turns all to blackest night.
And in the darkness, he rapes me.
I got what I wanted, and that's what counts. Nymphs are a dime a dozen.
And here comes Jupiter's wife, Suspicious Juno. And she's suspicious because, well, she knows of her husband's wayward proclivities.
How strange. It was bright midday, then suddenly it's night. Aha! I recognize the work of my husband. And the reason he likes night is to hide his latest paramour from my sight. Ah! Or so he thinks. But he's a little dumb, our Jupiter. Doesn't he realize I'm bound to get a little suspicious when at bright midday the moon all of a sudden replaces the sun? But when I mistrust, there's a reason. So I, clever Juno, whose chariot is peacock drawn, will set a husband trap. Hello, darling. Just thought I'd drop by. What have you been up to?
But Jupiter, well aware of his wife's keen nose, is one step ahead of her here. Right before Juno arrived, Jupiter did this.
Presto changeo, I metamorphose you into a cow.
Moo?
But wary Juno is not fooled. Why is her husband hanging around this heifer, which, it must be admitted, is pure white and gleamingly lovely in the way that young cows can be, or that young women turned into cows might be?
I now bait my trap. Why, husband dearest, what a sweet white heifer. Where on earth did you find her?
What, that old bovine? Beats me.
I think she's lovely. Her gentle ivory curves, her clover sweet breath. Give her to me, sweetie, as you care nothing for her.
Jupiter hears the trap snap.
Damn, I was just getting set for a second helping. I'm not ready to give that cow away. But if I don't, it'll look suspicious. And Juno might figure out that I'm an unfaithful lout. Okay, she's yours, Lambkins.
Oh, thank you, sweetie pie. And just to make sure no one tries to steal her away from me, I'm putting 100-eyed Argos on watch duty.
100-eyed Argos at your service, oh goddess Mia.
Poor bewitched Io thinks she might speak to watchful Argos, explain her plight, and thus gain his help. She starts to raise her arms to heaven to bewail her noxious fate, but she has no arms. She opens her mouth to cry to brutal infinity, but what comes from her gaping maw?
Moo. Moo.
She weeps bitter tears, but no words can she muster. Dark Jupiter has taken language from her.
Moo.
Jupiter, however, is not all bad.
It's not something I feel often, but I now feel guilty. I can't stand my sweet little lover's distress at being turned from a charming nymph into a plodding cow. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Argos killed.
Which he does.
Oh, you wretch! You've killed my star-eyed Argos. I will take his 100 eyes and put them in peacock's tails where they will shine forever. And furthermore, I will blaze demons into the soul of that stupid cow. I'd rather blame her than my good-for-nothing, wayward, round-heeled, hot-septed husband.
Meanwhile, demon-drenched Io ran to the river to throw herself in, groaning and suffering.
Please, Jupiter, kill me. I can no longer stand this life. I mean, moo.
Jupiter took pity on sweet Io, and turning to his jealous wife, he said,
Come to my arms, resplendent wife of mine. You know you're the only one worthy of me. Let's turn that little cow back into a nymph. She means nothing to me, a moment's tickle, nothing more. As I often say, nymphs are a dime a dozen.
Oh, I shouldn't let you get away with it, but I will. I hate to see cows suffer.
And I was turned back into a nymph, but for a long while I was traumatized because, of course, I had not only been raped, but had become pregnant by potent Jupiter.
And I was terrified to speak about speaking in case what came out of me was
moo.
Yet don't think misogynistic behavior stops with the ancients. We skip quickly to the 1890s. Ah, the great Henry James. We ask our players to act out the following words with which Mr. James portrays how women speak.
Mumble.
slobber,
Snarl.
whine,
Moo.
bray like an ass.
Bark.
Nor is Henry James fond of women's vocal timbre.
Thin,
Nasal.
twangy,
Sniffling.
snuffling,
Whining.
whinnying.
All this from the man many call the master.
And male opinion is often still the same today. Don't believe me? Listen to the internet. Daily it accuses women of being shrill, strident. Women stridently whinge or whine.
Women whinge or whine. Ho. Women whinge or whine. Ho. Women whinge or whine.
While we figure out how to deal with attitudes so mean, pejorative, and outdated, let's dance.
The cow dance!
Grab your partner and everybody dance.
Men call themselves the big brains.
And the lady
And the lady said, moo.
In the beginning
was the Word.
And the lady said, moo.
I think, therefore I am.
And the lady said, moo.
To be
Or not to be.
And the lady said, moo.
Give me liberty or give me death.
And the lady said, moo.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
And the lady said, moo.
Men
came up with democracy and physics and moon landings. Men created the world and everything in it in our image.
And the ladies finally said, we're in this dance together, so move over, men.
And now,
men and men, let's fix this mess.
But first, a quick interlude. Having sex while female. An exploration of illustrative scenes from 19th and 20th century Western literature, all famous and long-lived, all with the same theme. If you stray outside the narrow frame of societally sanctioned sex, you will suffer and your audacity will be paid for with your death, if you are a woman.
The year 1856.
Flaubert, a Frenchman writes Madame Bovary.
Emma Bovary has an affair to escape the dullness of her life in marriage.
Her lover, Rudolpha, will not marry her.
She
Kills herself with arsenic.
Everybody dance the heartbreak dance.
Oh.
1863.
A Russian, Tolstoy, whose name, by the way, means plump, writes Anna Karenina.
Anna has an affair to escape Scandemonia's snobby husband.
Her lover, Vronsky, will not marry her.
She throws herself under the train.
The heartbreak dance.
Oh.
1891.
An Englishman, Thomas Hardy, writes Test of the D'Urbervilles.
This one is slightly more complicated. Tess, a peasant, is raped by Alec, a wealthy kinsman. She will not marry him. She marries her beloved angel Claire instead.
And both of them admit to having had sexual knowledge in their past.
She is able to forgive him for his dalliances,
But he cannot forgive hers,
even though it was a rape.
so he dumps her.
She struggles to make ends meet.
Angel finally forgives her and comes to claim her.
Too late, she has accepted the wealthy Alec. Distraught and furious, she stabs Alec to death.
She
is caught and condemned to death.
Heartbreak dance.
Oh.
1905.
The American, Edith Wharton, writes House of Mirth.
Lily Bart, a socialite, struggles to make us impoverished, must find a mate before her sell-by date, which is fast approaching. She flirts with
all the wrong men, and scares the other men off with her slightly racy reputation and her gambling debts.
As she slides down the social scale, it becomes vitally important to her to repay her financial debts. And this she manages to do, but regaining her reputation after her sexual peccadillos.
No one will marry her.
She overdoses with a sleeping draft.
Heartbreak dance.
Oh.
1915.
And lest we wax repetitious, we will end in when the Englishman Somerset Maugham writes of human bondage.
Waitress Mildred entices our hero, Philip Carey, into supporting her while she plays around.
They fall in and out of each other's orbit several times.
She becomes a prostitute.
And
of course dies, probably of syphilis.
One last time. These are the great men and an occasional woman we've been taught to revere.
And did revere until the scales fell from her eyes.
But without this plot,
Without this double standard,
Without this lack of social and financial standing for women,
just where would Western literature be?
and let's not even begin to think about opera. So how will we fix this mess? Step right up. Let's do this quickly. The scene is set at the entrance of hell.
What?
How do we get here?
What are we doing here?
Well, to put it bluntly, we have a patriarchy problem to solve. Something was out of whack all over the land.
Patriarchy problem?
Yeah, that and other problems by the bucket. We've got racism, colonialism, tribalism, and authoritarianism. Capitalism, communism, fossil fuelism,
And climate change.
climate change, and plastics. But let's start with just one, shall we? Okay? And I choose the patriarchy.
The patriarchy will do.
Okay, the man-woman problem, as old as the Garden of Eden. So, something was out of whack all over the land.
Out of whack.
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 But wait, first let's get the casting right. Okay, it's karma that you older two play the villains in this scene, and you two younger will play all the secondary characters.
Secondary parts? How is that equality?
Well, it makes sense. We're still learning.
Yeah, you're watching your elders' mistakes and learning from them. Besides, playing all the secondary parts means you play a lot of roles, and it gives you a stretch, which is always good for Homo sapiens sapiens.
But hey, I'm not guilty.
And I don't think I'm as guilty as he is. He bullied me for centuries.
It takes two, my friend, to tango.
Step into the underworld, the place to meet your shadow and sacrifice yourself.
Really in hell?
When things are a mess, we're in hell.
Wait, time out. I'd like to remind us all that lots of things work well right now, worldwide.
What, for instance?
Traffic lights. Everybody, almost everybody, stops at red lights. Stop signs, we obey them. Airline pilots and traffic towers communicate well world over. Weather reporting, we all get along in areas like that.
And when a small child accidentally falls down a well, the whole world holds its breath until she's rescued.
And the world held the U.S. in its arms in the days after 9/11, before male machismo screwed us up and alienated everybody.
Yeah, but we know we can do better, and we have to hurry. Time is nigh for Homo sapiens to fix itself, or we're going to wreck Mother Earth to climate change smithereens. The time is past nigh.
If you're so smart, tell us how to get out of hell.
Show us all how.
Hey, I'm a chorus, not an oracle, but I always start with the ancients. We need an old myth, a myth about going to hell and back.
What will that show us?
A sacrifice. We'll find out how we must sacrifice in order to grow up, be responsible adults, equal, loving adults.
To hell and back!
Yes. The myths of journeying to the underworld, making a sacrifice, and coming back into the light are so ancient and numerous in the history of all cultures of humanity. It's clear they have something vital to teach us.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Homer.
No. Dante.
Demeter and Persephone.
Orpheus and Eurydice.
Inanna, Queen of the Sky.
She's the earliest edition of the story to hell and back that we can find.
Sumeria, 1900 BC.
I, Inanna, the Queen of the Sky, went to the land of no return, and where my sister,
I, Queen of the Underworld, was mourning the death of my underworld husband. Boo-hoo.
Yet the very act of stepping into the land of dead puts anyone in mortal danger.
and I, Inanna, was instantly stripped to my bare soul, cowed and hung on a hook to dry. Ah!
But an underworld guide managed to get her off the hook, revitalized and out of the underworld on one condition.
That I sacrifice someone to go in my place.
Oh, no problem there.
So I willingly sacrificed my husband back on earth.
Hey, baby, you been gone or something?
Because he hadn't mourned me one little bit. So I sacrificed him. But then, I, being soft-hearted, remembering that I loved him,
Remembering that she loved him.
And with the help of an underworld guide,
got him off the hook and out of hell too.
And what this ancient tale shows us is,
If we all make proper sacrifices and learn the proper lessons, we can make it out alive. Okay, problem solved. Let's go home.
Not so fast.
We really have to do this? I have a bad feeling here.
I see no way out.
But we're in a hurry.
So, let's get this over with.
The land of no returning means death. We're all here to kill something, right?
Right. Something in all of us, not just you, all of us. We all have some lessons to learn.
So, the death we're mythologizing here is the end of patriarchy.
Human civilization is thrashing and dying. Women and men are the main players, and the old myths passed down to us tell us a major sacrifice is required to bring us back to life. So, to hell and back.
Wherever that leads. But Inanna got her husband off the hook.
We'll see.
But she remembered that she loved him, remember?
I said we'll see. Something was out of whack all over the land.
Out of whack. Out of whack. Out of whack.
leave it to us, the younger people. We'll save the day. We have to, no choice.
We really have raised amazing children. Our youngsters today are extraordinary.
You're the main thing we did right.
Your whole climate marches, anti-gun rallies at school.
You hold us accountable.
Something was out of whack all over the land.
Out of whack. Out of whack.
Out of whack.
By betaking ourselves to death's chill realm, we shall uncover a sacrifice to make men and women recognize they are equal, thus allowing our human civilization to escape extinction and ultimately to thrive.
I'm not sure I'm ready to meet our dark side.
Too late. Our pain is severe. By facing our hellish nature, hanging it on a hook to turn to power, the myths from our forebears tell us we just might squeak through.
Ladies first.
I'm not going without you, Sugarloaf. It takes two to tango.
I don't want to die.
Oh, you think I do?
Break a leg.
The ceremony of entrance. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
How does
Dante.
How does one enter the underworld?
With great respect and humility, I should think.
Yada 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 yada. Sorry, a little nervous.
Ceremony of entrance.
I am Heron, who rows your boat over the river Styx.
Life is but a dream.
I am Cerberus, the slavering three-headed guard dog of hell. Arr. I will let you in, but you'll have a harder time getting out. Arr.
I am now an underworld guide. You will now give up your worldly goods.
I am now also an underworld guide. Stripping yourself shows you that you are nothing but your deeds, both good and bad.
Into the maw of the myth. We approach the heart of darkness to make a sacrifice.
But wait, are you sure making women inferior is part of the patriarchy?
Dictionary definition, patriarchy, supremacy of the father, legal dependence of wives and children, and descent and inheritance in the male line. See, it leaves out half of the world.
Okay, so the patriarchy has brought us straight to hell's gaping, stinking bowel. We shall hang this beastly hook on, smelly beast, on a hook.
No, the earth is shaking here. You're blaming me, making me play the villain.
Well, that and all the lead roles, and most of the supporting parts too.
Hang him on the hook.
No, don't do this to a fellow member of the human race.
Pitchfork him.
You're not being very subtle.
Well, it's hard to turn the massive ship of so-called civilization around easily. So I bang the drum loudly for now. Subtlety and artistry will come in our next play.
I beg forbearance.
Why?
One half of the world tries to explain keeping the other half under its crushing and, might I say, cloven hoof.
Hell, we men did the best we could at the time. We're not fortune tellers. How should we know we'd flush humanity down a black hole to hell? Anyway, I don't know why we're worrying about relations between men and women. If pandemics don't get us, climate change will. I can see the headline now. Mother Earth aborts herself of her insane children. Damn it. Men like being on top. We don't want to share. We earned it. Why should we share? We got here first. All right, no we didn't. We stole dominance, we conned for it, muscled it, slanted the playing field. Some say that's called smart. But you just try for a minute being me. You ready? Imagine what it's like to joust continuously for power every moment of your life. I'm a wild animal. Always on alert. One misstep, I'm a dead wild animal. I clamp emotion in the bottom of my belly where it can't move, and little that's kind or gentle to me escapes. Yet the brute in my belly always claws out. I'm the biggest and the baddest because if I'm not, some other dumbass will decimate me. And I won't get the girl, the job, the money, the recognition. Always there's the money. Don't forget the money. Has to keep coming in. Whether I have too much or not enough, money rules and I'm cornered. I'm banging my damn head against concrete. Desperation knocks inside me so hard, it comes out my fists. So I scare up someone to bully, and that someone is often you. And you, and you.
Drums all beating, hellhounds howling, wheels still turning, balls all dropping, death so present.
Always working, stomach churning, never ceasing, Vulcan forging, hammer striking, heart beating, never stopping, never off stage, always on stage, always resting, and always leading, blood coursing, earth wheeling.
The man, I am he, the buck, stops here.
Tell me how it feels, the weight of the world. Share your burden with me.
Share, but I can't. The wall is crumbling in on all of us, and I strain to hold it up. I'm the one who has to shore up the world crumbling. I've had to create the whole world without you.
That's too much for one person. We are years into the years of the 2000s. The ancient drumbeat could stop.
You really could share the weight.
And you damn well better, dude.
Share the weight? The weight of the world? I can't give up. I'm the king. I can't give up my kingship. To give up privilege seems like oppression. But it isn't, is it? I can change. Help me change. My head implodes, my muscles shred. I can't do this alone anymore. Kiss me. Can we kiss? Dance with me, madam. May we dance? You're beautiful. You're so beautiful. Shakespeare said, Juliet is the sun. You are the sun, my son.
You're a poet.
I'm a human.
And that's fine. We're all only human. Complicated, extraordinary, dazzling, scary beings banging our poetry-mangled heads against concrete blocks. We're fantastic.
But what do we do about that hook?
Oh, hold on. I'm tired of this melodrama. We've played this scene to shreds over the eons. The patriarchy always hangs people, or beheads them, or waterboards them, or shoots them and hangs them on hooks. The patriarchy always demanded violence. We could play that tired old scene.
Oh, and it really is a tired old scene.
You must bait the hook. You must bait the hook. You must bait the hook today.
I can't bait the hook. I can't bait the hook. I can't bait the hook today. Please don't hang me on the hook. I'll never do it again. Save me. Save me.
Oh, that melodrama doesn't work anymore.
That's not who we are anymore. You've broken barriers for us. You raised our awareness in so many ways, and my generation is kinder because of you. We're changing the old myths to suit today, right? We're finally smart enough to save ourselves from hitting rock bottom. Let's just do it. Let's be mature enough to decide to save ourselves.
Can we do that?
Let's not ask if we can. Let's just do it.
Thank you. You youngsters are groovy.
Groovy? You mean cool?
That was a good realization by the man. And cutting the hook scene certainly eliminates drama.
Melodrama.
Okay, let's keep moving. We've got no time to linger. To set the scene for your hook hanging, madame.
What? You just let the men off the hook? What kind of double standard is that?
We all still have some lessons to learn.
And this is theater. We need some drama. How else will we get the audience to experience possible doom from the safety of their own seats? And surely a lead actress wouldn't want to cut out a good scene even though we're running out of time?
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
Okay, here it is. Okay. A scene of demonly mayhem, raging animals edging towards rearing cliffs, ultimately causing reason, truth, and beauty to triumph and shine. One half of the world labors painfully out from under that crushing cloven hoof, don't forget. Okay, so here we go. You are 17, you're at a so-called elite frat party near, let's say, Washington, D.C. You're a frat boy. Okay, and you are his young pal. Got it?
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Nobody burps better than me, the great.
Nobody farts better than you. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Cock-a-doodle-doo! Yeah, nobody fucks better than me. Best at everything. Me, the great. I'm a stunner. Gonna stun the world.
We got everything.
Handsome too. Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Are you going to Italy again this summer vacation?
Yeah, like always, but I'll be back for football practice. Gotta give me some pussy before I go.
What? You too chicken to get an Italian girl? A damsel, you know, what to call them, bambina?
No way. I'll screw a bunch of damn whatevers. Now you got me horny.
I got laid so much last Saturday, my scepter of heaven was purple all week.
Cool. Let's yank the first chick walks by into the bedroom. They all want it.
Do them a favor.
Who cares what they want? I want it.
Gonna get it too, but I think Dad might be home now.
Him? He never say anything. He never says peep.
Damn bitches drive us wild.
Then pretend like they don't want it.
Oh no, don't put your hand there.
I'm the one with the say. I'm the decider. Oh, here comes a fucking bitch.
Oh, you play a teenager. You're at the party too.
Here comes a bimbo now. Hey, baby.
Oh no, I know this sort. I know what he and his crew can do.
Oh, but isn't it just in fun? Boys will be roosters.
I am a woman. I am a woman you fucked up when I was a young girl, and you're the guy who grew up to be a Supreme Court justice. I am a woman. You fucked up when I was a young girl, and you're the guy who grew up to be a Supreme Court justice. So there's something I want to say to you. I promise you, you're the last rapist who will ever be a Supreme Court justice. After you, no rapist will dare. For the court of public opinion is changed. I trumpet this. The court of public opinion has changed because of me and all the brave ladies and the men. Don't forget the good men who support this, taking the risk of stepping forward. The Me Too movement has opened society's eyes, never again to shut. It's out in the open now, not stinking and hidden. But over and over, for many of my formative years of my life, the memory rode me over and over and over again. I can still relive it for you. You're taller than I am. So your shoulder crushes my mouth into the bedspread. I'm clamped shut by your weight. My scream goes into your meatiness. God, I can't breathe under your sweaty heaviness, sweat, and Brill cream. To this day, Brill cream gags me. I see slightly through the left eye, half scrunched on that damn blue bedspread. Can't breathe. Right eye being squished under. Oh, no, fingers! No, that's my eye, please. Don't be too drugged to notice, please. Ah, that's my eye. Air. Oh, you might by accident oversight. You might really blind me or kill me. Oh, you're so unaware, completely off in your own world, laughing to your friends who are lying right there giggling, watching you, crushing me, waiting their snorting turns. I can't breathe. I might actually die here. I, the actual me, might as well not even be here. You're killing me, and you don't even know I am me, as real a person as you. What can you have been thinking? I try to get into your mind. Then a miraculous chance happens. You lifted the hand from my eye and you reached for something. You couldn't get to it. You had to stretch a beer, most likely. Your weight shifted. And before I even thought it, I am talking, scrambling, knee, hard hit on bedstead, out the door, gulping, falling downstairs, limping outside, streaming tears, breathing, running, limping, gasping, breathing. I'm alive, safe. I am not in that room with you. But for years, in my mind, I was still there. For in the very next breath, damn, the patriarchy muddies me down, mucks me up. Somehow, this hot venom that is your fault has somehow transmuted into my fault. Somehow, I did it. I'm the one who let this happen. Shame shakes me. I can barely stand. I still don't know how I got home. At that time, I just couldn't understand it. I was a young girl looking for a prince to love. Not you. Maybe we had a math class together. It didn't matter to you who I was. You didn't even know who it was you pancaked under you. You didn't know I was me. I was less than nothing to you. You probably couldn't have come up with my name. I'll never forget yours. And now, you'll never forget mine. You were supposed to be a young god, given everything to grow up to be a wise man. What happened to you? What was driving you? What were you thinking? I want to know, really. Do you think I was a dumb animal? She's nothing. A vessel merely. She has no soul. If you prick her, she won't bleed. You should have masturbated instead of using me as your sex doll. That's what we do. We masturbate, us girls. We want sex too, but not in the impersonal way you wanted it. You just wanted a place to stick your pompous, pucky protuberant prick. If I prick that prick, you're damn right, it would bleed. You simply didn't care, did you? You were so overcome by your almighty teenage boy lust, which is supposed to excuse anything and everything. Boys will be boys. Let's blow up the world. Let's fuck all the females. Most men manage to grow up out of this adolescent phase, but some don't. I watched you sweat and redden and tear up at your hearing. It makes me wonder if you finally managed to mature. Your daughters aren't nothing to you, are they? Your wife isn't nothing to you. Your mother. But what in the world do they think of you now? Could they possibly admit to themselves that what I said might be true? I bet they're prone to nightmares, and they don't deserve that, do they? I'll wager I'm not nothing to you anymore. You shudder when you think of me, don't you? Because you're afraid. People believe me. Women mean something to you now, I'll wager. Perhaps you've realized we're all humans in this cockamamie, cataclysmic, kooky life together. We're the astonishing consciousness of the world, unique in all the universe. So we better bring our best selves to this game, wouldn't you think? It's quite an interesting situation you find yourself in, isn't it? Your dishonor. You know what I said on the stand was true. You must constantly be worried because no one, remembering your behavior and your lying, can entirely trust your judgment, your dishonor. How do you live with this? I'd really like to know. What do you say to your colleagues on the Supreme Court? Oh, well, I'm a big beer drinker. I used to be a goof-off, but I always knew I could make it to the top on Family Connection, so I didn't, and don't worry much. I'm entitled. Nobody will stop me. I imagine how you live now with the lies you've pushed down into your gut. Your stomach must be churning. In fact, I sometimes wonder about your health. But don't you worry about mine. Oh, I'm fine now. It's only that when I was young at that time, and for far too many years thereafter, too mortified to give myself proper credit, but I am well recovered from your mental and physical brutality. And don't for a minute think you brutalized me again in front of the whole Congress of the United States of America. No, you're non-honor. You're unhonorable. You're dishonored. In 20 years' time, the history books will record that I'm the one who wins this round. I'm the one people will believe and favor. And that's because I braved the degradation you dumped on me, and I said what needed to be said. I said what I needed to say. And I did it in blaring public too. You might have noticed. I will tell you this though. It took me many years to unscramble my way.
Thank you. You've triumphed. You're off the hook.
Wait a sec, I'd like a turn at this. Ahem, my dear frat boy.
The love that passeth all understanding. Preach it, girl, you got yourself a pulpit.
I see you are wounded, my dear frat boy.
Wounded soul.
I also see your tennis-buffed arms, your torched torso which torments in a t-shirt, your boyish hair hanging over your forehead, your flaming blue eyes, but I also see the gaping wound in your soul. Now, your mother did not raise you to abuse young girls, did she?
She did not.
You love your mother, don't you?
Love your mama.
But being the typical adolescent with a typical shaky self-esteem, you need to impress your male friends. You want to be popular, so you pressured young girls relentlessly, just so you could boast about it. And you even raped some. And underneath, you are ashamed of yourself.
Ashamed!
And you are so ashamed of your nasty deeds that your gut smokes.
Smokes
the
hot.
secret shame fires your forehead red, which is why you drink so much beer, trying to cool yourself down. Everyone sees this behavior. You know you can't hide your shame. We all see your grimace and your sweat. Your soul, however, the soul you started out with, your little boy soul, is a good one and could be again, sweet boy.
Sweet boy.
That is right, I said sweet boy. But unable to escape your shame soul, you down another beer. We all know you like beer. But the beer does not drown that shame. Your dear mother is ashamed of you.
Yes,
and years
she
to come,
is.
your wife is ashamed of you. And you know she is. And that future sugar lump daughter of yours is too.
Okay, stop. You can stop now.
So you down another beer, shove aside rank, stinking memories, and in your agony, you thrash, a wounded animal, and lash at the world, at anyone smaller.
And when the pain of your shame finally breaks open with disgust, your better self will surge to the floor and help you just get over it, help you grow up.
And with that simple realization comes the light. Here's the answer, so simple. Never hurt others, and you're off the hook too.
Never hurt others. I demolish the patriarch if I never hurt others.
Yes, we forgive you. We heal your wound with kisses. Go on and sin no more, sweet boy. Never hurting others kicks shame right out the door. All of us are just as real as you, and if you prick us, we do bleed.
It took a tragicomedy, but I unscrambled my way.
And we love you. We love you.
I understand.
I do too. Groovy, youngsters. I mean, cool. Thank the gods.
Young girls, givers and receivers of love. We're not out of hell yet. Let's keep things moving if we hope to survive. One more scene needs to play out differently. Look not to the fist-raised fathers. Oh, hell's bells. Okay, I am just going to say it this time. Love your mother. Call her.
Yes. I call upon the Olympian realms. I sit at my loom and weave the dancing goddess into being. She enters me. My heart draws music and colors from the loom, and a honeyed earth replaces this tiger-toothed world. Use me to help this change of earth. Let it complete with me. As we are all one, it completes with you too. And by the way, goddess, light all our faces with smiling. My son, cherished Telemachus, remember that we sat with our little dog Argos, he but a newborn pup, and both of you teething. You shared hard biscuits, one bite for puppy, one bite for you. And we three sprawled together for months in heaven's lap. And now the new pup has become the old dog awaiting his far-traveled master's return. You give the pup a bite, then take a bite yourself, both happily slobbering. I know you remember those times. I know you do. You craved the sound of my voice. It lit your world and beamed through your soft eyes. You leaned on me and rested safe, and I had care the finest babe ever lived. It never crossed your sweet mind to debase me. Oh, look into my eyes, son. What we share is ironclad. You are my love, my darling little love, my darling little boy, because you remember when you and I were so bound. You won't hurt me or humiliate me. You simply can't. You cannot hurt anyone. Your father Odysseus will return, and now you are strong enough to meet him. You are man enough to stand on your own and take the steeper path, the one that treats the world with kindness instead of steel. And you suitors, whom I shall henceforth call unsuitors, because I am not a widow, yet will continue to feed you and house you, and you will listen to me as I weave for you the incredible story of the gems the dancing goddess promises us. For in coming centuries, humans, if we will mature, will evolve into the bright, miraculous. Sit with me in many marvelous wonders, you and your big brains, along with my sisters and our bigger brains, relatively speaking, devised together. Together. We make a garden of Eden of our treasured and only earth. And we pull each human up the consciousness ladder. So put away your weapons. Sup at my table. Keep watch with me for my yearned-for husband. And help me teach my son the ways of noble, honorable men. We cannot fail, for that would dim the light of consciousness in the universe. We'd become destroyers in the eternal annals, the race that let the universe down.
Yada da da da, yada da da da.
But that is not our path. For we are beings formed of stars. And by the way, Mother Earth is not aborting her insane child, but she is giving us a swift kick in the pants. Tough love, booting us into maturity. We owe Mother Earth one hell of a lot. Think about it. She has borne the weight of our birth and being for centuries. Do you ever ponder that? She has fed, clothed, sheltered, and given a particularized education to each one of us. And furthermore, when my time has come, she will welcome me back into herself, and she'll do that for each of us, for you too, welcoming us home, a guaranteed place to rest. We haven't a thing to worry about. We owe her. The time is past nigh for humanity to become high-functioning, whole human beings. The dancing goddess entices our soul. Her prophecies are invariably right.
We love you, Mother.
Viva Homo sapiens!
Viva Homo sapiens!
And with that, abracadabra quick, it's not for nothing we call ourselves the big brains. We've learned a thing or two, dissolved the hook, slogged through that blasted tunnel, and exploded into sunshine of our beautiful Mother Earth. Reborn as better human beings.
Viva Mother Earth! Viva us! Can it really be that simple? Can we do it?
I don't know. I'm a chorus, not an oracle. So, hey, was that the lead role you wanted to play?
No. Even better. We're an ensemble with good monologues. We're in this together. We learn our lessons, and that's far more civilized than killing people on a hook.
Did you get that? All right, then. To avoid becoming pretentious, we'll end with a small scene based on a true story. The setting is a woman's apartment in the present day.
I have created a new thing. The sports bra.
That is amazing. How did we ever get along without it? You must sell this fine creation. Take it to a sports store owner.
The scene changes to a sports store.
What? A titty basket that flattens boobies? Who would ever want that? I've got no faith in a sports bra. Wait till I tell the guy.
Wait a minute, sweetheart. You're in the business of selling a jockstrap, so aren't you? Well, isn't that the same thing? A little support. You know, sometimes I wonder if your brain is big enough.
Today, the running bra biz makes
Gazillions.
So let's add running bras into those airline traffic controllers and stop signs and other things that really work. We know how to make this fine old world spin properly. And just out of curiosity, would you vote for a woman president?
Yes.
And put her face on a $20 bill?
Of course.
Be sexy like the bonobos?
You bet.
So, although dancing sometimes seems silly in these perilous times, before we go figure out how to get the better of climate change,
Let's all dance!